And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to say, more rumors, more things have been swirling around all over social media. And if this is true, whew. So word is, which I pulled up this tweet from at WrestlePurist. It says, according to Body Slam and DAZN, WWE World Wrestling Entertainment has been sold to Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, and they are planning to take the company back to being private, being a privately owned company. Whew, man. I don't know about y'all, but if this is confirmed, this is going to raise so many questions and concerns. Like, now, so far there hasn't been an official statement yet, so keep that in mind. But like, apparently Saudi Arabia right now is trending on Twitter, and the sports trending on Twitter right now. But this raises a lot of concerns. Hey, what's up, Joe Valesco? Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but Stephanie McMahon has resigned as CEO. So Nick Khan is CEO, and Vince McMahon has been unanimously voted back into the executive chairman position of WWE on the board of directors. So I don't know if you caught my live stream earlier, but that's been the latest breaking news. But now there's rumor that WWE has been sold to Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, and that the plan is for it to be going back to being a private company, a privately owned company. This is going to raise so many concerns, because you got to think. Now, I know Saudi Arabia's, a known spot for, say, the Crown Jewel premium live events. But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to factor in. I mean, we all know how, those that have watched like Crown Jewel and many different events they have in Saudi Arabia. I know for the ladies, they usually have strict laws there about, the ladies, and they have to cover up. MVP, Sami Zayn aren't even, allowed to even go there, nor do they want to go there. But, oh my God. I always catch a live stream of yours. Yeah, I appreciate you, Joe Valesco. Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, welcome. Welcome to the stream. What will happen now, bro? Like I said, this is a rumor. Like, nothing, no official statement yet, but this has been going around. Like, this is the thing that I just, been seeing trending, all over the place right now. Cedric E., welcome to the stream. I love it. LMAO FWWE. Yeah. But I think what it comes down to, if this ends up being a done deal, I feel like this is a company that would allow Vince McMahon to run it his way, especially if it's going to be a privately owned company. Then, oh man, then he could potentially have full control and just whatever he says goes. And pretty much, I feel like this was the ultimate plan. One way or another, Vince McMahon was going to force his way back in. I think ultimately that was the goal for Vince, was to force his way back in to his chairman position. And the man has done it. He's done it. Mr. Beast says, can it be a lie you are saying? If yes, how much chances would it be? I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I hope this is all just nothing but a rumor, but it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. Not to mention, I can imagine so many are going to be either be let go. I mean, it's probably going to be a combination of people being let go and people wanting to intentionally leave. Cedric E says, do you expect any budget cuts in the next few days? To be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if it was in the next few days. It would not surprise me one bit. It would not surprise me. But this is crazy, y'all. Just 10 days into 2023. And all this is just... We just kicked off the new year. Anthony, welcome to the stream. If true, will they have messed up their next TV deals rights, especially with the USA Network? That's a good question. So it makes me wonder, like, if this is going to be owned by, Saudi Arabia's investment fund, like public investment fund, like, I mean, I would think it's going to be ran like a specific way. Like, I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, if anything, I think there's going to be a lot of wonder as to how this is going to work. And I think you make a good point with the TV deals, USA Network and of course, Fox, with SmackDown. But I mean, after all, we got to remember, looking at the Crown Jewel shows and whatnot, those shows were the ginormous moneymakers. I mean, it was getting to the point where there was even questionable ideas of Crown Jewel overtaking WrestleMania and being the biggest stage. Mr. B says, I think it can be announced at Friday Night SmackDown. Perhaps. Saudi Arabia, they have a lot of money. Yep. John Elite says, won't be surprised if there's budget cuts in the coming days. I honestly, I have a feeling that they're going to happen. Mr. B says, bro, can we Indians watch after all? Remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. But the memes are going all over the place. Like the memes, the GIFs, they're all over the place. But oh my goodness. Just what a shell shock chain of events for WWE. Even going back to the whole Vince McMahon being voted unanimously back to executive chairman of the board of directors for WWE. Stephanie McMahon, she resigned. Nick Khan is now CEO. Like, I mean, I'm in a pro wrestling Discord, and a lot of the folks are like, they're done with WWE, like just flat out done with WWE. I mean, Vulture Talks, welcome to the stream. So glad. Smarks, get out. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there was a good number of people rejoicing with Vince McMahon returning to executive chairman, which honestly, he beat the allegations. And I mean, just the fact that he was unanimously voted back in, just that says something. Pieces were put into place, certain board members out, certain board members in, unanimous vote, all part of the plan. Vulture Talks. Oh, no, you're cool, Vulture Talks. You're cool. I'm just trolling, but I expect Vince to get a lot of money for this and buy it back in a few years when the Saudis mismanage it. Oh, like when it comes to Vince McMahon and money, he's never going to get tired of making money. Like, there's no cutoff for Vince McMahon. He's going to want money till the day he dies, pretty much. He's going to want all the money and as much of it as possible till the day he dies. So I don't doubt that. He even held his own company hostage. I mean, yeah, he was determined. He was determined that he was going to get back in. I mean, to quote, by any means necessary, I guess, like, not to mention the Royal Rumble isn't even here yet. It's crazy. Like, we're just 10 days into the new year, y'all. And just, wow. I mean, and when you think about folks like MVP, Sami Zayn, that aren't even welcomed in Saudi Arabia in general. I mean, if this turns out to be real, then they're going to want out of WWE, I would think, if it did get sold to this Saudi Arabia public investment fund. And not only that, if it's going back to being a private company, meaning they can pretty much do anything that they want, that's scary. Just the thought of it is scary. Anthony says, I hope they do find TV deals because I'm looking around the world for it. Oh, yeah? Nah, I feel you. Vulture Talk says, I'm surprised how many people didn't know about the Class B shares. Vince was never gone. And see, that's another point as well. Was he ever really gone? I mean, the retirement announcement he made was back in July of last year. So let's think. July, August, September, October, November, December. I mean, we're barely even reached 6 months. So, I mean, it's not really, it wasn't really that long. Yeah. So, John Lee, is there any reason as to why MVP isn't allowed at the Saudi show? So apparently, he's a former Muslim turned atheist MVP, John Elite. That's what the word is that MVP was a former Muslim, then turned atheist, which apparently in Saudi Arabia, I guess it's punishable. So WWE would now stand for Walla Walla Entertainment. Oh, wow. But yeah, y'all, just whew. How's everybody feeling? Like, what if this actually does go through and this rumor becomes a reality? Like, I mean, I'm sure some folks are going to stay, but I would think a good number of folks are probably going to leave. Fat Rax, welcome to the stream. I feel pretty good. You feel pretty good about what's going on with WWE? But oh, John Lee says bad. Did you watch the Crown Jewels? If so, why complain now? Missed some, seen some. Oh, you meant just in general. Gotcha. No, sounds bad for WWE. Gotcha. At least from a perspective as a fan or employee of WWE. Gotcha. Yeah. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. But man, I mean, Vulture Talk says bad short term, but I think the long game was to always go back to private. Interesting. I mean, it makes me wonder, like, if there was ever some sort of roadmap for that, and if so, how long ago could that have been? Now that you mention that. Straight white male, welcome to the stream. Biggest news in wrestling history. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely a shocker. But I don't know. I really take Stephanie McMahon resigning as translation, screw this, I'm out. That's really how I take that as. But I mean, just because it makes me wonder about a lot of things, like was mentioned, TV deals going forward, maybe potentially like the women's division, or if it turns to some sort of thing where there'll end up being more events. I mean, because like I would think that this would also mean that there would be a lot more events in Saudi Arabia and not just Crown Jewel. I would think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. That just made me think about that. Fat Rack says, I think the only reason Steph stepped down was because the Saudis wouldn't sign a deal with women. That could totally be the case. I mean, that's not a bad thought. That's not a bad thought. But if anything, I can only imagine what the talent must be thinking. Just this day alone, y'all. What the talent in WWE, how they must be feeling. I mean, and my thing is, it makes me wonder, like, I mean, can the government even get involved or just like, I don't know. Like, there's just so many things to wonder and question. Roman Reigns, welcome to the stream. You can't be the real Roman Reigns. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Oos. Oh, for real? Oh, yeah. But yeah, I just, man. And supposedly, and like I said, I don't know what a specific amount would be, but there were numbers that I was hearing of WWE being worth between like $7 to $12 billion, so to speak. Because I mean, we have to all remember, WWE is like, I always kind of considered like the NFL of pro wrestling. It's had such a grand stage and just what they say. A lot of folks say, if you were able, to make it in the WWE, that's like huge, especially for, pro wrestlers in general that, dreamed of going to the WWE and making a career out of it and main eventing WrestleMania and just, I mean, I can only wonder, how folks are going to view WWE like going forward, even just from what's already happened and confirmed, today. Like I said, this sale part right now is rumor, but I mean, the stuff that happened before this, with Vince being back as chairman, beating all the allegations, it's just, it's crazy. Fat Rack says, yeah, WWE is a legacy USA wrestling company. The only other companies in the same conversation in terms of size history are AAA in Mexico and New Japan Pro Wrestling in Japan. It would by default make AEW the biggest U.S. company. That's a good point. That is a good point. That is a good point you made, Fat Racks. Man, I can imagine Sasha Banks was like, well, glad I slipped out of there. Oh, man. Just. And then, you have to think, with the handful of folks that were brought back after Vince McMahon left, I mean, who's to say that Vince won't get them axed? Or at least some of them. Like, oh, man. And it's like, don't get me wrong. I'm a pro wrestling fan. I am not, one of those types that will wish or hope for any company to fail or die. I've been a pro wrestling fan since I was a kid. I've gotten a chance to watch so many pro wrestling promotions, go to so many live events of different promotions. I am a pro wrestling fan. I'm not one of those that's like, oh, this is the greatest company ever. Oh, no, this is the greatest company ever. Or, oh, this is my favorite. I mean, I have certain ones that I consistently keep up with. Because, pro wrestling's huge around the world. There's tons of promotions. Mainstream, small, big. It's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. And, I would never wish for any company to fail. But it really makes you wonder about some of the decision making. That's all I can say. Hey, Rally Sport. Welcome to the stream. Hi, Blitz. What is going on in WWE today? Stephanie resigns. Apparently, WWE sold to Saudi Arabia, and talent are totally pissed. Sean Ross Sapp just said, I bet their boss is gone and some. Wrestlers won't travel to Saudi Arabia. Feel sorry for them today. So I was told that the selling part is a rumor. So has anything been confirmed? Or it might be a matter of time before it's confirmed. It might actually be a matter of time before that part's confirmed. But yeah, Rally Sports, Stephanie resigned. Vince McMahon is back in as chairman. Nick Khan is now the CEO. Triple H is still the chief content officer, so he's still in charge of talent. He's in charge of talent and live events and such. But you would think if Vince ends up being totally in charge, who's to say he won't try to put his hands into the creative jar? You know what I mean? Roman Reigns says, I will go to Dragon Gate USA and make it the premier wrestling company in America. It's interesting you mentioned that, Roman Reigns. I've actually been to a Dragon Gate USA show. It was the show Open the Southern Gate when they came to Burlington, North Carolina. I was actually there for that show, front row. It was on April Fool's Day. Funny, but actually enjoyed that show. It was awesome. Export. Welcome to the stream. This is probably the biggest wrestling news we had. Oh yeah, this evening has been crazy as far as pro wrestling news. So you're definitely not wrong there. Joe Valesco says, if it's true, it's WWE stay in the US or moving to Saudi Arabia. I don't think it necessarily moves to Saudi Arabia, but I would think that there would be more events held there than just, one a year. Because, you had Crown Jewel, and then there was the one time where they had the big Royal Rumble, or the biggest Royal Rumble ever. If I remember correctly, that was in Saudi Arabia as well. Oh boy, I feel bad for Sami. Yeah, Sami Zayn. Yeah. Yeah, because remember, I think it was only like a year or so ago that Sami Zayn signed a contract extension to stay with the WWE. I don't remember how many years it was for. I think it was like 3 or 4, but he signed an extension to stay with the WWE. He and Kevin Owens. So, Rally Sports says, "Oh, okay, nothing confirmed. Sean Ross Sapp knows wrestlers and chats to wrestlers in WWE, which is true, and they are not happy. Vince also cannot be in charge of creative, apparently, because of allegations against him. I was looking forward to Triple H doing Rumble. He might not even be there now. I also feel sorry for Sami Zayn. Now, here's the interesting thing. So Vince cannot be in charge of creative, apparently, because of the allegations against him, but he can be unanimously voted back to being executive chairman, though? Like, how does that work, though? He can't be in charge of creative, but he can get voted unanimously back into executive chairman of the board of directors? I don't know how that would work. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. But, oh, man. Whoo, man. This has been a crazy evening. Export says, by the way, I don't necessarily expect them to announce the news right now since it might be early for Saudi currently. Yeah, that is true. That is true. The time differences. So that is true. Vulture Talk says news is expected to break before the market opens. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Roman Reigns says, I expect Mansoor to be coming for my title any day now, big man. Oh, yeah. After all, technically, he's undefeated at Crown Jewel and shows in Saudi Arabia and such. So you make a point there. You make a point there. Who knows? Maybe you'll have the title past WrestleMania and you lose it at Crown Jewel against Mansoor. You know? Rally Sports says it doesn't make sense. Vince also hired people to vote for him to be chairman of the board again. He got a unanimous decision voting today. Facts. CEO of WWE, Nick Khan, no one's really talking about that. Yeah. Yep. There were certain members that got let go, got fired. Vince got his board members in, unanimous vote. Bam. He was determined to get back in one way or the other. I mean, he wasn't even out that long. I mean, he announced retirement back in July of last year. And here it is, beginning of January. Shoot, that didn't take long. Export says Goldberg versus Mansoor, the next Mania. Let's get it. Hey. I've actually seen Mansoor wrestle live before. It was at an NXT event. As a matter of fact, it was when they came to Concord, I think 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. Or no, actually, this was before the pandemic. Yeah, it was before the pandemic. Had to think about it for a second. I was like, yeah, it was before the pandemic. But yeah, I know a lot of folks are talking about budget cuts, but yeah, I expect that to happen at some point before the end of this week. If you know, as much as I hate to say it. Rally Sports says probably Mansoor going for a WWE title and beating Roman if Saudi's in charge. Yeah, we were talking about that. So yeah. John Elite says ever since Goldberg beat the Fiend, I started calling him Old Berg. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Um, Export says if the whole WWE moves to Saudi, AEW will technically the number one promotion in America, will it? Yeah. I mean, it will definitely have a, yeah. I mean, that would be safe to say. That would definitely be safe to say. So, I mean, just um Joe Velasco says, is Mustafa Ali Saudi Arabian? Oh no, he's of Pakistani descent. Of Pakistani. Um hey Mike, how's it going? Jason. Jason. Want to say hi, but WTF on Tam Nakano's Mystic Spear. Did Vince sell WWE? Call me a liar. So for now, it's a rumor. There hasn't been an official statement, but it's sounding like it's pointing towards becoming a reality. From all the buzz on social media here and there, from all the inside scoops and stuff, it's sounding like it's starting to shape into a fact. Right now, it's technically still a rumor, but it looks like it's going to be shaping into a fact. But we'll probably know more details tomorrow. I mean, it's not even midnight yet over where I'm at. Goldberg is crap. I feel a bit sorry for wrestlers who have just signed with WWE. Example, Chelsea Green, Dragon Lee, and they thought Stephanie was in charge. Triple H, nope, Vince wasn't there when they were signed. Yeah, Bronson Reed just came back. Hit Row just came back. Dakota Kai. Last year, like, there's even rumors of Jay White coming. Hikuleo, Tamatanga, like, I mean, Nick Aldis is a free agent. So, I mean, it's crazy. Export says Sasha sure made a wise decision. Oh, she slipped out of there like that. She was like, let me, and then didn't look back. So it sounds like she's found a home. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stardom, and, maybe even AEW. So, yeah, I feel like she got out of there and did not look back. Mike says, you understand, if Vince gave our number one wrestling promotion to the Arabs, say goodbye to sexy female wrestlers and forget what the food stands will look like. So what I'm thinking is, I don't think necessarily like a lot of folks would have to move, or now this is just guessing because I have no idea. I'm thinking probably not everybody or the company necessarily moves to Saudi Arabia, but I would think it would end up meaning that there would be more events there and not just Crown Jewel once a year, if that makes any sense. That's what I'm thinking, but who knows how deep it could be. But I do get what you're saying, Mike. I definitely get what you're saying, and it is a concern. It is a fair concern. Rally Sports says Chelsea Green has signed with WWE by the way Fightful Select said yesterday. Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured, because I'm not sure if you saw the news. Bet Mercedes is happy she didn't go back. Agree with that comment. Facts. So, and there was word that supposedly Chelsea Green was going to be the new replacement leader of Mandy Rose for Toxic Attraction. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's confirmed, but supposedly that could be, or she could just be on the main roster. John Lee says, doesn't WWE have interest in Tama Tonga and Hikuleo? That's what the word is. And possibly also Jay White, Switchblade Jay White as well. But it's interesting because Jay White is booked for NJPW, the New Beginning shows, which is pretty much right after Royal Rumble. And, you know, Hikuleo and Jay White are going to have a loser leaves Japan match at the New Beginning. So one way or another, somebody's about to get ushered out. And probably that's what makes that happen. But we'll have to see. But Jay White's contract supposedly is almost up with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that's why that's a name that came into the picture. But yeah, there's that. Nick Aldis is a free agent. So, I mean, whew. And that's right, William Regal just returned to the WWE. He just returned. So, wow. Rally Sports says, my predictions are now wrong. Miro and Andrade to WWE. They might not want to leave now. Saying that Charlotte's still their Andrade's wife, which is true. We'll wait and see. And Charlotte, she just came back from injury. Export says Jay White can easily fit in AEW with the whole Elite storyline going on. Plus, they will likely to keep his theme and his gimmick too. That's a good point. And he's even made appearances in AEW. So you're definitely not wrong there. Nick Aldis, Tama Tonga, free agent soon. Facts. Pardon me. Mike says, silly question. What happens to NXT UK if this deal happens? And on a happy note, know the rankings of the Stardom Triple Derby event? Yes, I do. I can pull those up for you right now. I have them on a spreadsheet. Good question, Mike, because after all, and this was supposed to be the year that the NXT Europe project kicks off. Now, there wasn't a date of when that's supposed to happen, but this was supposed to be the year NXT Europe kicks off. And yeah, like, we don't even know the details for that. So that could be either put on hold or all out canceled. I mean, you never know. We have to wait an entire year till we see Regal on TV. Yeah, which I don't know if we're going to see much of him on TV. I think word is he may have more of a backstage role. But then again, you know, his son is here in the WWE, so there's that. But to take a quick timeout because it was requested, the current standings of the Triangle Derby got for you here, Mike. So for the Triangle Derby, Stardom Triangle Derby, you have two teams with 0 points. You have the 0-2 H&M, which is Mayu Iwatani, Hanan, Momokogo, who have lost to Gold Ship and Classmates. And you have Unique Glare, who are 0-1, which is Starlight Kid, Haruka Umasaki, which they've lost to Prominence. You have Queen's Quest. They're 0-1 with 1 point. That's Utami Hayashishita, Saya Kamatani, Azumi. They have the draw with a Batarimbo GE. And you have 4 teams with 2 points. And that's Cosmic Angels at a record of 1-2. Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, Saki. They got 2 losses to Mai Hime with C, Prominence, and the win over Lollipop. You have the Bari Bari Bombers, Julia, Thekla, Mai Sakurai, at a record of 1-1 with 2 points. They have a loss to Rebel and Enemy and a victory over Lollipop. You have Power Passion Pineapple, which is Nene Takahashi, Yuna Mizumori. They're 1-0. They have the one victory over Classmates. And then you have Club Venus, Mina Shirakawa, Zaya Brookside, Mariah May. They're 1-1. They have 2 points. They have a victory over Lollipop and a loss to Bar Rainbow GE. Those are your red triangle block standings. All right, let me get caught up on the chat and then I'll do blue triangle block. A lot of people are saying Chelsea Green, leader of Toxic Attraction, had thought they broke up tonight. I saw they both won NXT Rumble tonight. Weird. I think she would fit straight in there as a leader myself. Do you agree? I could see it. I could definitely see it. Export says, I do want Micah and Himeka to win, to be honest. Oh, Micah, Himeka, and Lady C. Yeah, would be nice. I'm going for a Badarembo GE personally, but it'll be really interesting to see how this goes. Okay, blue triangle block. So we have only one team on the blue triangle block right now that's 0-3, and that's Lollipop, which is Waka Tsukiyama, Rina Amakura, Yuko Sakurai. They're 0-3 with losses to Club Venus, Bari Bari Bombers, and Cosmic Angels. Then you have 4 teams with 2 points. You have Classmates, which is Hazuki, Koguma, Saya Ida. They have a record of 1-1 with a victory over H&M and a loss to Power Passion Pineapple. You have Mai Hime with C at 1-0, which is Micah, Himeka, Lady C. They have the one victory over Cosmic Angels, but they have 2 points. You have Gold Ship, which is Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima. They're 1-0 with a victory over H&M. And then you have Rebel and Enemy, which is Ram Kaicho, Maya Yukihi, and Micah Ozaki. They're 1-0 with 2 points with a victory over the Bari Bari Bombers. And then you have one team with 3 points with a record of 1-0-1, which is Abarembo GE, which is Shuri, Mirai, Amisore. They have the victory over Club Venus and the draw with Queen's Quest. And then sitting at the top of the blue triangle block with 4 points, 2-0, are your current Artist of Stardom champions Prominence. Risa Sera, Suzu Suzuki, and Kurumi Hiragi. They have 2 victories over Unique Glare and Cosmic Angels. So your champs looking strong in this tournament so far, but still plenty of tournament left. Okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, my pleasure. Waka better hurry up with that win. And you know she gets her Passion Injection match at New Blood 7 against Nene Takahashi. So that's on the way. Export says, not a huge fan of budget cuts, but man, AEW Stardom will get a big upgrades with female talents if they get them. I do miss seeing EO and Stardom, to be honest. Interesting thing about that, Export, before EO signed that extension and got moved up to the main roster, word was that Stardom Bushi Road was gearing up to throw the bag at EO to return to Stardom. That's what the word was originally, because EO wasn't making anywhere close to as much money in NXT as she was making back in Stardom. So they were getting ready to throw the bag at her to get her to come back to Stardom. But one of the things, supposedly what the word is, that she was only going to stay with WWE if she got moved up to the main roster. And sure enough, that's what happened. So I'm assuming Triple H stepped in. Most likely. I think so. And AEW Stardom, I mean, it's been talked about. There's been some interest. I think it's going to happen. I do think it's going to happen. It probably maybe later this year. It could be this year's Forbidden Door for AEW, but I think it's definitely going to happen. I do. I think it's going to happen. Mike says, while I love Cosmic Angels to win over Club Venus, yes, I'm betting Nene and you will win. Sorry. Oh, their team, Power Passion Pineapple. Yeah, it's Nene Takahashi, you, and Yuna Mizumori. But yeah, PPP, Power Passion Pineapple. It's kind of an interesting name, but and y'all heard about how fast tickets sold out for Battle in the Valley, and it got confirmed that Kyrie versus Mercedes Moné is the main event. So, that did not take long. But do you know how awkward the McMahon family dinners are going to be? You know how awkward that's going to be now? Like, birthdays, holidays. Oh my God. Just, man. I mean, not only that, I mean, if this does happen and WWE gets sold to this Saudi investment fund, what could that really mean as far as to, retaining talent, getting new talent, and, contracts? I mean, there's already been like non-compete clause for, contracts. I mean, I just, Mike says, I think Waka needs to give Mercedes some pointers on finishers. Yeah, so that when she did drop Kyrie at Wrestle Kingdom, I mean, that was definitely a botch. That was definitely a botch. It wasn't it wasn't as crazy of a botch as it could have been, but it was clearly a bad botch from Mercedes to Kyrie, which is kind of a bummer considering they've worked together before in WWE, but yeah. And honestly, I don't even know if, the Japanese wrestling fans are even sold on Mercedes Moné personally. Joe Valesco says, I don't know. Probably we can see some old faces returning like CM Punk. I don't know about that. CM Punk returning, I doubt that. With the bridges he's burned, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I mean, anything can happen, but I highly doubt that one. But I mean, you got nowadays you got a lot of fans that are like, bump WWE. I'm gonna watch more Stardom. I'm gonna watch more AEW, ROH, DPW, Gato Move. Like, wow. It's crazy. But yeah, Mike, that's the recap. Let me know if you have any more questions about the Stardom Triangle Derby. I'll be happy to answer. Um, Export says the wrestlers who have like different sexualities, like Sonya, will likely not stay. To be honest, because you know that's right. Export that you're right. Good point. Sonya Deville, Tegan Knox. Um, there's some others. I thought there's some others. I know those can't be the only two, but yeah, you make a good point. Oh yeah, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai. Yeah, good point. Wow, good point. I didn't even think about that until you mentioned that. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, they're probably definitely out the door then, if that's the case. Um, Mike says about the rumored sales. Seriously, I think not much will change except the women's attire a little. Saudi investment owns so much American-based properties we don't know. SNK Neo Geo owned by. That is true. That is true. Good point, Mike. Good point. Um, YK Beast, welcome to the stream. I hate Vince McMahon. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Beauty Contender Studio, welcome to the stream. Is it true? Now, so far, it's a rumor. So far, there hasn't been an official statement yet, but there's a lot that's pointing towards it becoming a fact. There's a lot pointing towards it becoming a fact. YKB says WWE is finished. Every show will be in Saudi Arabia. I don't know if every show will be. I think there'll definitely be more shows, more than just Crown Jewel, which was yearly. But I don't think every show will be. I don't think every show will be. Yeah, what a rumor. What a rumor indeed. Vince should have just stayed in his retirement home. Yeah. Yeah. But the man was determined. The man was determined. He, one way or another, he was going to get back into that chairman role. Because it was like I was talking to some of my friends in the pro wrestling Discord I'm in. Outside of WWE, I really don't think Vince McMahon had anywhere else to go. As crazy as that may sound, I don't think he had anywhere else to go. So I feel like he was determined to get back in. There's only one hope, everyone. Someone like Elon Musk can make a higher offer. Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, he probably could, but would you want that to happen? Ugh. I mean, maybe that would be a little better, but how much better would that be? Will Roman Reigns remain on top? Good question. Probably not, but good question. YKB says, even Stone Cold Steve Austin can't save us from Vince now. Oh, it's going to take more than just a stunner over here and a stunner over there. The stunners won't be enough this time around. Beauty Contender Studio. What about the WWE Network? So, which I heard that they just shut that down in the Philippines. And of course, with it here in the States being moved to Peacock, I was under the impression NBC Universal was going to be a front runner, being that they have Peacock, as far as if a sale was going to happen. You know what I mean? But I mean, boy, was I wrong. Export says Saudis love Reigns a lot, so his position will probably be the same. Very possible. Very possible. Austin Jug, welcome to the stream. RIP WWE. Yeah. Yeah. Could be. Could definitely be. Snafu Snaps 3, welcome to the stream. Remember when Plane was held hostage? Talent is done. Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. What they were like? What was it? Held hostage for like almost a week, or about a week, something like that. Shoot. YKB says CM Punk was right about Vince McMahon. Yeah. Facts. John Elite says, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't WWE on Disney Plus in the Philippines? I don't know, actually. I don't think so. Because I heard that actually, yeah. Actually, yeah. It did get moved to Disney Plus. Yeah. Good call, John Elite. Good call. Good call. Yeah, good call. Okay, let me get caught up. Beauty Contender Studio says, I don't think this will be the death of WWE. Too many fans. That's a good point. It is a financial company, so they make investments. So expect to make money off of this transaction. They'll likely grow WWE. And like I said, me as a pro wrestling fan, I would never want to wish any company to like die or end or anything like that. It just makes me question, certain decisions that are made. That's all. Um, Everything ends. WWE is finished. Saudi Arabia will destroy WWE in a year. Oh, that's your prediction, YK Beast. Okay, we'll see how that goes. But hey, fair prediction. Beauty Contender Studio says another thing: the women's division went way downhill. Yeah, that much is true. WWE has been getting stale. Bad storylines. I've watched wrestling for over 30 years and never felt they'd be this boring. I definitely feel you on there. I mean, I watch for the sake of supporting some of my favorite wrestlers, despite a lot of them not getting a lot of TV time. But yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Mike says, I would miss John Cena, and I really worry about what happens to the Lacey Evans and the Bray Wyatt story. Yeah, there could be a lot of stuff in question. A lot of stuff in question for sure. We talking about the talent being held hostage where we had the NXT takeover on SmackDown the day after. No, it was I believe it was folks coming back from Crown Jewel, if I remember correctly. John Elite. It was when folks were returning back from Crown Jewel. Austin Jug says, can countries really buy companies? Well, if this ends up going from rumor to a fact, then I would have to say yes. I would have to say yes. As crazy as that sounds. Brock Lesnar will return or not. Oh yeah, that's right. We haven't seen Brock Lesnar in a bit. Good point. But Roman Reigns is amazing. He's had an amazing title run, that's for sure. Export says, I'm not into business stuff, but why sell a business that is successful? You know what I think it is, Export? I think with it going this route and it going private, I think this makes it easier for Vince to have like supposedly ultra control of things. You know, on top of it being a privately owned company, oh, they can do whatever the heck they want. And I think that's ultimately what it could be leading to. You know what I mean? That's my guess. That's my guess. Oh, Snafu Snaps 3. This sell is global move. Remember, Disney CEO sells banker, sells ECT. WWE had to be the last cause of media attention. You make a good point, actually. You make a really good point. But it's definitely a huge move for sure. It's cool people of color are on top. It's interesting that Sasha Banks left. I feel maybe Vince did something to her. And then we have to remember, you know, Sasha had a couple of instances where she like quit and left because of certain booking decisions and such. And of course, Naomi tagged along. But, you know, Naomi's officially still a part of the roster. But, I mean, Sasha has kind of had some incidents where she's just like, screw this. I'm going away for a bit. So it was only a matter of time, I feel. It was only a matter of time. Tell me one thing. If WWE shifts to Saudi Arabia, then we will see English comment. Then will we see English commentary on TV? Ooh, that's an interesting. It's an interesting thought. That's a very interesting thought. Oof. Oof. Wouldn't the women have to cover up their bodies? Yeah. They've had to do that for a long time. I mean, because of the rules and regulations in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, no problem. Export. Plus, don't forget the successors like Triple H is physically hanging on by a thread. And she's wrestling in Japan. Yes, Sasha. Yes, that's correct. And you know what? It's a good thing that you mentioned that Beauty Contender Studio, because we have to remember back when, you know, Vince, you know, before he retired, I mean, you think about what Triple H went through. He went through a demotion and he had the health scare. So, you know, he's been fine since returning, and then, you know, Vince left. And then now with Vince back, I mean, with all that happened before, the demotion, the health scare, ugh. There's no telling. And now his wife isn't with the company anymore. Like, I mean, Triple H ain't a young guy anymore. You know what I mean? Triple H is in his 50s. You know, I think he's like what, 53? Yeah, 53. Yeah, he's not a young guy. But as of now, he's still the head of creative. So I feel like for now, that's the saving grace for now, is he's still chief content officer and head of creative. For how long, I don't know. There's no telling what kind of other changes are going to happen, but for now, that seems to be safe. Beauty Contender Studio says, I don't think the health scare is over, which is very possible. John Elite says, at this point, can we call Vince Thanos? It wouldn't. You wouldn't be wrong for saying that. That's for sure. Oh man, with what's been happening, you wouldn't be wrong for thinking that. If Vince was up to stuff, Triple H was too. Once a cheater. My thing is just being able to beat the allegations. Just, I mean, because there was a lot. And I'm sure maybe there's more stuff that's going to be uncovered, but I mean, to beat the allegations and have it set up that he gets unanimously voted back into chairman of the board of directors, you got to have some crazy stroke and strategic pieces in place to pull that off. That plus Vince is still the majority owner. Oh man. And that's another big piece that folks have got to remember. Vince still the majority owner. Like that's a big piece. That's a big piece. Beauty Contender Studio says they beat the allegations with money. They beat the allegations with money. Money makes stuff go away in the United States. You're not wrong there. I mean, if they have it to pony up, they will do so. I mean, you know what they say, money talks. And a lot of times that's regardless of the scenario, unfortunately, sometimes. Mike says, my final rant, VKM is and has always been a creep. He's abused women behind the scenes and on TV. He can, yeah. Oh, yeah, his club was his fetish in public. Yeah, that's true. That is true. The FCC should consider him incompetent to make decisions. Which, like I was saying earlier, it makes me wonder: can even the government get involved, or is it just not even possible? Triple H owns 26 million in shares. Ooh, and of course, remember, when the idea of Vince McMahon returning came up and was in process, I believe the stock of WWE shot up 22%, if I remember correctly. So crazy day. And now over here in my time, it's now technically January 11th now because it's past midnight. But wow. And you know what? Deep down, how much does Stephanie know that she just doesn't want to share? Because I mean, it is her father. But it makes me wonder, how much stuff does she really know? You know what I mean? Because it was definitely no accident. I think, and then when you think about it, you rewind back to when she took the leave of absence, and then it was a matter of a week or two that she pretty much had to come back because Vince retired. Like, who's to say she wasn't pressured to return and being the one to take over? I mean, when she returned, she became co-CEO and chairwoman of WWE, co-CEO with Nick Khan. So some way, shape, or form, the McMahon name was still in that high-ranking position, chairwoman. Something to think about. Beauty Contender Studio says, remember, she resigned at first. True. She knows a lot. She likely hired personal private investigators, which is very possible. I think she was pressured. I think that's what it was. I definitely think there was some pressure on her. For sure. I do agree. I do agree. And then, thinking about the talent, thinking about what the talent could be thinking right now is just because we already know there's a good handful not pleased. Wow. Oh man. And just to think, we haven't even gotten to Royal Rumble yet. NXT Vengeance Day is next month, which me and friends have tickets to because it's in Charlotte. Oh, man. Oh, on a positive note, at Stardom Supreme Fight on February 4th, cheering will be returning. Yay for cheering for Stardom. Stardom Supreme Fight, February 4th, cheering returns. FWC, Fukuoka Double Crazy. Yeah. Just had to throw that in. Mike says she had that secret employee meeting, no talent allowed, where she said big changes coming and a new endeavor. Then she resigns. Ooh. Yeah. You never know. Beauty Contender Studio says Vince eventually retired from the company in July, but returned less than a week ago by installing himself as executive chairman of the board, using his authority as majority shareholder. And that's a good argument too, because the whole thing was, did he really leave? Did he really retire, or did he still have his hand in some way, shape, or form the whole time? Very good point, Beauty Contender Studio. John Ali says it's not even Mania yet as well. Facts. And I have a few friends that are going to that booked their tickets like months ago. Export says about time. Yeah, I figured it was eventually going to happen, being that, New Japan Pro Wrestling have had some cheering shows. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling have had a couple of cheering shows. So I think it was only a matter of time before Stardom would finally get the green light to start cheering again. Beauty Contender Studios has definitely had his hand in the whole time. He's very involved in most decisions. Oh, I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that at all. Also, I wanted to quickly say to all the new folks joining this channel for the first time, thank you so much for checking me out and for commenting and sharing your thoughts, your opinions, and feelings on everything. Definitely welcome that, and it's good to have y'all here. Thank y'all so much for stopping by and chatting it up with me. All right, let's continue. Oh, Mike says I'm calling it Cody Rhodes. Oh, to win the Royal Rumble. That's what a lot of people are thinking. That's what a lot of people are thinking. Cody Rhodes versus the returning Great Khali at WrestleMania. Ah, I see what you did there. But oh man, y'all, I think the internet legit broke today. The internet legit broke today. I agree. Who's behind Uncle Howdy? You know what? At first I was thinking Bo Dallas, and then I was thinking Edge, And now Alexa Bliss is back into the picture, which is starting to look like her old crazy character is being revived. I don't know what the heck is going on. Mike says the cause of the Saudis. I'm sorry. Ouch. Export says the Saudi nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Well, what about the tattoo on his neck, though? John Elite says, since Judgment Day is challenging the Usos for the Raw tag titles, could they be splitting the tag titles? I hope so. They need to split those titles. Seriously, they need to split those titles. Dr. Evil, welcome to the stream. Of all the choices, like Disney didn't have enough money of something. I still honestly thought NBC Universal was going to be the top one in the running due to, having the edge with Peacock, NBC Universal Comcast. I honestly thought they would have been the front runners. And there was even thoughts of Amazon as well, but yeah. Funny enough, I wonder how MJF's bidding war will end now. Ooh, that is a good point. Judgment Day sucks though. There no NWO or even the Shield. Judgment Day, I like Finn Balor. I've liked him ever since Prince Devitt back in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I like Damian Priest. I like Rhea Ripley. I've seen all three of them live before. As far as Judgment Day, I was feeling it at first, but yeah. Can you imagine if WB buys WWE, who also has AEW? Well, then the Briscoes don't stand a chance. Then. They're like a walking emo-looking trio. You know what? They actually kind of do. You make a good point. But then they done turn Dominic Mysterio into a dang on gangster, looking like Conan 2.0. I'm like, what the heck? Just weird. Cody is the son of the greatest American plumber. Never will be ever. The greatest American plumber. Dang. They're okay individually, but the group itself does not work. I also like emo, so no diss to emo. Yeah, individually, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. The Dominic thing is more comical than anything. Oh, me and my friends, we were cracking up a storm about that. Just like ridiculous. Oh, so ridiculous. Like it was wild. We were having a ball over that segment. Like, I didn't laugh that hard since like back when WWE when they had Val Venus dealing with the Yamaguchi family, the whole choppy yo pee pee. I haven't laughed that hard since then. Oh man. But man, it feels so good not to be subjected to tribalism. I'm so glad that I've been introduced to multiple pro wrestling promotions. I tell you, I'm glad I'm not fixated on one. I tell you, otherwise I'd be a wreck. He has a pretty girlfriend, so making Rhea his woman must be pretty hard. Who just got engaged, actually. They actually just got engaged. Mike says, I want to just thanking Conan when I saw Dom's get up. He needs Carlito to come back and teach him how to be cool. Yeah. You spit an apple in his face. I died laughing at Dominic. Yeah, me too. Me too. Dr. Evil says, do you think Saudi will go back and censor past WWE? Ooh, past WWE history. Ooh, that's actually a good question. They may alter the library, the video library. That's a good point. And also, like you said, history, WWE past history. That is a good question. That's it's definitely not impossible, Dr. Evil. Definitely not impossible. I mean, that question among like so many other questions, like just talent wise, contracts, how will contracts be done going forward under the new regime? Just whoo. Yeah, congratulations to Dominic and his girlfriend, now fiance. But whoo, man. Rally Sport says, did you see what Gronk did tonight from Sean Ross Sapp donated $6,900 to Damar Hamlin. Toy Drive. Wow. Nice. I think Jericho donated 10 grand. Facts. And is a blessing that he has been released from the hospital and was able to return to Buffalo. So very, very happy to see that. And hey, Buffalo Bills are in the playoffs. So, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if they ended up winning the Super Bowl? Whew. But oh yeah, that's right. We had 2 engagements. That's right. Ricochet and Samantha Irvin got engaged. That's right. That's right. Sure did. Ricochet, who I've met before back in Dragon Gate. So that's great news. Yeah, I met Ricochet when he was like in his early 20s. Because, you know, he was young wrestling in Dragon Gate. So, yeah. Ricochet, definitely one of the best high flyers out there. And I did notice some names are returning, like with NXT. Tyler Bates coming back. Stevie Turner's coming back. Lyra Valkyria just came back. But where the heck is Saray? And Blair Davenport? And Mako Satomura? What the heck? And I guess Tiffany Stratton's about to come back, but nobody's found Saray yet? What the heck? Somebody wake me up when they find Saray. Tyler Bate is a beast. I've seen him in NXT UK. He's good. Oh, his match against Walter at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff is still to this day one of my favorite takeovers. I love Mustache Mountain as well. Dr. Evil says, I met Jonathan Coachman at the wave pool at Not Soak City once. Pretty chill guy. Oh, that's what's up. The coach. Yeah, I always enjoyed his segments back at WWE on commentary through Sunday Night Heat, and I thought that he was a pretty good heel too. Thought he was a pretty good heel. John Elite says, is B still in a relationship with Will Ospreay? The word is no. The word is no. At least I don't believe so. I mean, they kind of, if I remember correctly, okay, so it was 2021 that they split, and then they kind of had the angle where he hit her with an Oz cutter, and, you know, pretty much that's how she got eliminated from United Empire. But nah, they split. They've been split. Elias is awesome. He reminds me of Randy Savage. Plus, Elias is a man of God. That's what I've heard. That's actually what I've heard. That's what I've heard. John Lee says, can't wait for the big strong boy to return next week. Yes, indeed. And I wonder what's going to happen with Trent Seven as well. You know, he had the matches on AEW. I think he had like 2 matches on AEW, and haven't seen him since. So I wonder what's up with Trent Seven. But yeah, Tyler Bate, love Tyler Bate. First ever NXT United Kingdom champion. Whoo! So yeah, definitely can't wait to see him. Phenomenal wrestler, whether singles or in a tag team. Dude is a phenomenal wrestler for sure. Rally Sports says, a lot of romance stories. Ricochet engaged, and no offense to anyone, Tessa Blanchard getting divorced. Oh, yeah, that's right. Her and Dega are splitting. That's right. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Oh, man. Tessa Blanchard, who is a North Carolinian, just like me. But, yeah, I did hear about that. Well, it's been crazy news for today, but I got to head to sleep for now. By the way, I dropped the sub, show some support. Yeah, I just got the notification on my phone. Thank you so much, Export, for the sub. I appreciate you. And come back anytime. Glad to have you. John Lee says, is Trent all elite? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's been all elite. Yeah. Or you're talking Trent Seven. Oh, no. Trent Seven, no. He had the 2 matches and we hadn't seen him since, so that would be a no. I'm asking Ivar if they really sold. What about Bray Wyatt and JoJo? That was a shocker. Oh yeah, Bray Wyatt and JoJo. Oh yeah, that definitely was a shocker. For sure. Totally agree with you on Walter and Bate at Cardiff. Best match. Oh, dude. I still talk about that match to this day. One of my favorites, and like I said, my favorite takeover. Like, hands down, my favorite takeover. Especially, that was also the takeover that Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews won the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. Whew. And that was an incredible match, too. Rally Sports says, I think we know why Stephanie resigned now. My opinion, her dad back head of the board, and he probably said, I'm selling to Saudi Arabia. She like, bye, I'm out. And that's very possible. That's very possible. And I think it did sort of seem like a screw this, I'm out from Stephanie. I do not doubt that. I definitely don't doubt that. Beauty Contender Studio. Oh, snap. Thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Thank you. Parker Bordeaux, All Elite. I think he's a beast too, but he's not used much, is he? So he just joined Mogul Affiliates, Swerve's new stable. Yeah, he just joined Swerve's new stable. Mike says, before I go, Jason, is B. Priestley still with NXT UK? Her name is Blair Davenport, I remember. Yes, that's correct. And there's this other Japanese former women's champ. What was her name? God bless. NXT former women's champ. Oh, Meiko Satomura. So Mike, what I've heard, Blair Davenport, I have no idea. We haven't seen her since the title unification match, so I have no idea what's up with her, but hopefully she'll be back. And Meiko Satomura, word is that she's back in Japan for now. And from what I've heard a rumor. I don't know if this is confirmed, but I heard a rumor that Sendai Girls might be closing in April. But rumor. Now, of course, Mako Satomura is a co-founder of Sendai Girls. So that's what I've heard. But she's still in Japan. That's it. Swerve Stable. Thanks, Blitz. Yes. Mogul affiliates. Which I'm not really feeling the stable personally. I would rather see Swerve on his own, but they're trying something different with Parker Bordeaux. Trustbusters didn't work out for him, so they're trying something different. The Trustbusters are still there. He's just no longer part of the Trustbusters. So it's Slim J, it's Ari Daivari, it's Sunny Kiss, and I thought there was one more. Lots of returns soon. A lot of people forgot about Cody Rhodes. Rick Boogs, Bobby Roode, and Tiffany Stratton too, and Santino Marella's daughter too, Ariana Grace. Yeah, although I'm still waiting on Ava Raine to finally make her in-ring debut. The WWE thing and now Sendai Girls closing. You hate me and Joshi's bro. So like I said, it's a rumor. It's a rumor, and I hope it's not the case, but I heard that's a rumor. And now that I think about it, yes. Oh, you were saying a lot of people injured. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Those you named injured. Gotcha. Who's the dude with the tattooed face with Swerve and Parker? I don't know if they said his name yet. I don't think they said his name yet. Because I couldn't find it on the roster. But I don't think they said his name yet. So that's a good question. I actually don't know. Yeah, see, I don't see him on the roster. So yeah, I'm actually not too sure. I had never seen him before. Like, I tried looking him up. I've never even seen him before. But here's hoping that Sendai Girls rumor is a rumor. And then also, Ren Katakura is leaving Marvelous to move to Canada to be with her husband. Although she said she's not retiring. Word is that when she's ready to retire, she does want to return to Marvelous to retire there. And I could see her wrestling in Canada or in the States. But here's the thing. Marvelous has a small roster as well. And seems like they don't do a whole lot of shows. So I don't even know if Marvelous will even still be there by the time Ren Katakura returns. Because she's going to be in Canada for a couple of years. So, yeah, a lot of craziness happening in the pro wrestling. Riley Sports says, do you think Naomi returns? Because apparently in the news she's deciding she might be like nope and do a Mercedes try to go to AEW. So she's still technically on the WWE roster, but I think she'll return. But I mean, with everything that's going on, she's probably gonna be like, screw this, I'm out, and might pull a Mercedes, but remains to be seen. But it wouldn't surprise me if she pulled a Mercedes. John Elite says, could we see a Shida heel turn down the line after the interview on Dynamite last week with Tony as Saray's partner? Could we? I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think she's going to take Tony Storm out. And I think that's how Mercedes gets ushered in to be Saraya's tag partner. Swerve's new guy looks like he might have been in the UFC or Bellator. He looks like a younger Brock with tattoos. Yeah, definitely looks like he could be a MMA fighter or like some sort of mad dog, like a mad pit bull looking dude. Kind of reminds me if you took the dude that was from Def Jam Vendetta. I forgot his name, but he was like bald, and he was on your side. He was like an ally. If they like took him and then put all sorts of tattoos all over him, that's what the guy reminds me of. But yeah, I definitely expect Sheeta to turn heel, and I think this would pretty much be Sheeta's first heel turn in AEW. You know, it's been a couple of years, so I think we're about due for a heel turn for Hikaru Shida. But if anything, when is Jade Cargill gonna defend that title against former champions? The only former champion she's defended that TBS title against was Nyla Rose. I hadn't seen her wrestle Sheeta. I haven't seen her wrestle Riho, Thunder Rosa, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Heck, she hasn't even wrestled Serena Deeb. Like, when is she gonna wrestle like some legit opponents, including former champions? Like, that's my question. Shoot, Mercedes Martinez. Shoot. She never wrestled. I mean, I know she's not a former champion, but she's never wrestled an Abaddon. Like, when they gonna start giving Jade some legit opponents? Oh yeah, Blitz. Sheeta wasn't happy. Saraya picked Toni Storm. I'm not sure if Mercedes shows up tomorrow or it's Toni Storm. Who knows? It's wrestling. I think Mercedes shows up myself. I think so too. I think Toni Storm is initially the partner, and Sheeta takes her out. I think we're gonna see a storyline between Sheeta and Toni Storm, which I think would be great. I mean, Toni Storm has a lot of experience working with Joshi talent. I mean, she's worked in Japan before. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Arik Rayford, thank you for the sub. Is Peter Avalon still with AEW? Yes, he's still with the Wingmen. A lot of people forget Mercedes Martinez is ROH Women's Champ. She's awesome in the ring, and I've met her before, and she is gorgeous in person. Let me tell you what, she is gorgeous. But yeah, like, and then we know, and see, AEW Revolution won't be too long after well, actually not. Revolution's in March. Yeah, AEW Revolution's in March. What am I talking about? Kept thinking there was something in February, but nah, that's in March. But yeah, like, it done got crazy up in here today. Well, now it's tomorrow, but But sorry all. Hikaru Shida will never turn heel. She has a mean streak, but not bad. I bet returning Serena Deeb takes Tony out. Then Saraya grabs uh Mercedes as a replacement. Well, wait. Why can't Shida be heel? Like, she's even teased it before in the past. She did kind of tease it before in the past. As a matter of fact, last year, where some of her matches on Elevation and Dark, she was kind of bullying her opponent. So it has at least been teased before. So I think with what's happened, I think it's apparent that, yeah. Rally Sports says, what is going on with Paige Van Zant? All she does is put bikini pics on Twitter. She's not bad. She's not had one match. Has she? Maybe also, do you think Brandy Rhodes will wrestle for WWE because Cody is there? Only after she's gotten some more training. Because I'm sorry, Brandy Rhodes isn't really good in the ring. I mean, I watched her in ROH and what she has done in AEW. Honestly, I don't think she's that good in the ring, to be honest with you. I don't. You know, and I hate to say that because I've met her before. I've met her, I've met Cody, I've met Dustin. But like I really I don't think she's good in the ring personally. I really don't. But that's just me. That's just me. I can imagine there's going to be some folks that are going to be like, man, you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to sign to WWE. You know, there's going to be some folks. And you have to wonder what Max Caster is going to do in his next freestyle. Max Caster of the Acclaim, you know he's going to have a barrage of stuff. A barrage of stuff to freestyle. Jason, she does work in Japan. That musical she does, her YouTube channel. The musical in Japan. Oh, the Makai Project. Makai Project leans towards her being an inspirational lady. She can't do it how the Young Bucks did it. Lovable heels. Why not? I mean, that's in Japan. She's in the States. I mean, it is very doable to be a face in a promotion and then be a heel in a totally different promotion. That's been done many times before in the business. So I beg to differ. But yeah, that's happened plenty of times in the business. And like I said, you know, AEW's been around what? 2, 3, like 3, 4 years now? 3 years? Sheeta's due for a heel turn. She can afford a heel turn. I love Max Raps. Oh yeah, Max Raps are pretty hilarious, especially his last handful. Very hilarious. Thoughts on Lacey Evans having a decent new finisher, Cobra Clutch, like Sergeant Slaughter? He pretended he didn't know who she was. Lacey, who? Did you see that on Twitter Blitz? Yeah. I gotta keep it real with you. I've given up on Lacey Evans. I've given up on Lacey Evans. The fact that she had a handful of character changes kept that women's right. I mean, yeah, her having a Cobra clutch. I mean, that's a start. But honestly, I've given up on Lacey Evans. There's just too much healed and faced and healed and faced and healed and faced. I've given up on Lacey Evans. I mean, best of luck to her. Hope this gimmick change works for her, but the last one she had was terrible. So, yeah, I've given up on Lacey Evans, to be honest with you. Just keeping it real. But I'm back. Lacey has a really nice story, though. I mean, and I hope it works out. I really do. I just felt like it. She's had a lot of like changes, and it just, at first I was kind of, oh, okay, but then it just got, back and forth, and she was a heel in the face, and a heel in the face, and a heel in the face. It's just like, ugh. Let's see. Don't worry, Blitz. The IWC has given up on Lacey Evans. Raw, SmackDown, Army, heel, babyface. WWE hasn't got a clue what to do with her. Nobody cares anymore. Whoever wrote her storyline, she endured hardship, but became okay. Yeah, I mean, of course, all definitely happy for her service, and she was a Marine, so definitely won't discredit that. What's Dakota Sky's gimmick about? To be honest, I think Damage Control needs to split. I'm sorry, but like, and it's like I've said in previous streams, the fact that when EO got moved up to the main roster, instantly put into a tag team, she got Kyried. It's Kairi Sane all over again in the WWE main roster. It's Kairi all over again. Not to mention the last 5 singles title shots that Bayley has had, 2 before she got injured, she's lost. 3 of them being against Bianca Belair. Honestly, I've given up hope of Bayley becoming singles champion for now. I've given up hope. Because if it took that many attempts, even before she got injured, she had a couple of attempts and still couldn't do it. Nah, there's no telling when Bayley's going to become a singles champion again. So what's the gimmick? I mean, the only thing that I could really say is that they're to be the ones to fix and cleanse the main roster women's division, hence Damage Control. And then you have to also look at the fact that Bianca Belair fought off all 3 of them at Extreme Rules. And then you had Becky Lynch take out both Io and Dakota easily. And those are supposed to be the women's tag team champions? Like, Damage Control is a weak stable. Dakota Kai has been in tag team purgatory ever since NXT. So Dakota Kai can't even get no love. And Io Sky, one of the best wrestlers, and you have her being showcased in tag team matches. Like, it's Io Sky, Io Shirai. Like, she's one of the best in the world. Like, I don't get it. Asuka's 0-6 against Rhea Ripley, which is blasphemy. Bianca is incredible. And I love Bianca Belair. I love Bianca Belair. I do. Thoughts on Vince Russo and his stupid comments. Bailey is not good. Can't even do a promo after being there for years. Totally do not agree with Vince Russo. He said it Monday night Raw review. He did. And then again, this is Vince Russo. So Becky is great. I like Becky Lynch. I've met Becky Lynch. She's pretty cool. And she really does have boulder shoulders. Damage Control was hired as fillers, I guess, in a bad way. Bailey carried WWE through the pandemic era. What is he on about? Not to mention, like, her work in NXT. I mean, Bailey's played a great face and she's played a great heel, if you ask me. Damage Control are jokes at this point. Facts. Mike says, what's a real shame, in my honest opinion? Natalya never been WWE Women's Champ. She hasn't won it yet, right? She's been SmackDown Women's Champ. Yeah, she's been SmackDown Women's Champion. And she's been Divas Champion. I don't think she's been both Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. She's been a former Tag Team Champion. Yeah, so Divas Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, Tag Team Champion. Those are the only 3 titles she's won in her WWE career. YK Beast, a lot of wrestlers are going to get fired. Oh, I believe it. Unfortunately, I believe it. Bailey can go back to NXT. I don't know about currently, but I mean, hey, the New Day are back on there. You know, Apollo Crews is back on there. I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Rally Sports says Damage Control is not working at all. WWE was okay at first, but gone downhill. Natalya has been champ and tag champ, SmackDown champ. Yes. Honestly, I wasn't really feeling the idea of Damage Control as a team. I mean, Dakota Kai and Io Shirai, I mean, yes, okay, they've teamed up maybe a few times in NXT, but like, they don't compare to the Sky Pirates, you know? They don't compare to the Sky Pirates. Shoot, if Io were to be brought back to the main roster, if anything, she could have been teamed with Kairi Sane. That would have been the best alternate way that they could have brought Kairi and Io up. Bring them up, bring up the Sky Pirates. And not just do Kairi paired with Asuka. Like, you know, and it's not to look back on the Kabuki Warriors. Because, I mean, Kabuki Warriors, I mean, they're technically the longest reigning women's tag team champions. But why do all that when you could have had the Sky Pirates? The Sky Pirates were undefeated on NXT. Like, they could have had the Sky Pirates. But, yeah. MVP Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, a lot more women's, almost everyone are going to AEW. Either AEW or some sort of other company, I mean, across the world. Those would be options. Would Moxley, Seth, and Roman be where they are today if the Shield was never a thing? Uh, Roman, not so sure. Seth, possibly. Moxley, possibly. Mainly because, Moxley's known for death matches, and Seth, aka Tyler Black, because of his time in ROH, I think they would have gotten noticed. Roman, not so sure. Brock Lesnar will make huge money now from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, got that right. New Day is the bomb. True talent. They complained on air about how they are always threatened with being on the chopping block. Oh yeah, I love the New Day. Definitely, the New Day are awesome. And hopefully there's a possibility Big E can return. But if not, I hope he takes care of himself. If that means he has to retire to protect himself, so be it. Oh, Jinder Mahal is back on NXT? What? That's weird. So I guess him and Shanky is not a thing anymore? Interesting. I think that's why they got demoted. Yeah. And I guess the saving grace of that is they're now Triple Crown tag team champs. So there is that. NXT is not the same as it was back. Facts. Roman would, because he's groomed for it. I mean, I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm just not so sure, because I don't know how much experience he's had before WWE, but he's doing a good job now, and look how it's turned out for him. YKB says CM Punk was right about Vince McMahon. We disrespected him. He knows everything what Vince would do. The pipe bomb. The pipe bomb. And also, word is, speaking of Natalya, word is that supposedly she may be out the door from WWE to pursue something new, as well as potentially Tamina. So, which, the thing about Tamina, the only title that Tamina has won in WWE, I believe, is the 24/7 title and the tag team titles. Like, Tamina's never even been a singles champion. That's sad. She's never been a singles champion in WWE. That's sad. Jimmy Superfly Snuka's daughter has yet to have a singles run in WWE. That's sad. That is sad. Why Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will leave WWE? They hate Saudi Arabia or some other reason. Well, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are best friends, and you have to remember Sami Zayn, of course, Sami Zayn is Syrian. So, that's the thing with Sami Zayn. Cool. Or, excuse me, Sami Zayn, he's Canadian, but he's also he's Muslim, and he's a supporter of the Syrian Society. So, yeah. Natalya and Tamina Snuka, two underappreciated talents. Hope they do well in AEW. You know what? With somebody like Natalya, I wouldn't mind seeing how she would do in Japan, personally. Tamina, I think Tamina could fit well anywhere. AEW, Impact, Japan. She could probably fit anywhere. She won a comedy title. Oh, yeah, the 24/7 championship, which she held 9 times. 9 times, apparently. Um, Royal Rumble hype is over. Rock will not return to WrestleMania 39. Excitement is over. Yeah, to be honest, Royal Rumble, like, there hasn't really been much buildup. You know what I mean? There hasn't really been much buildup. I mean, you don't even have, like, what matches do we even have? So the men's Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble, uh, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Undisputed Universal Championship, and Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in the pitch black match. Those are the only matches booked so far for Royal Rumble. And Royal Rumble is 2 Saturdays from this coming Saturday. 2 Saturdays from this coming Saturday. So, yeah. And I got a coworker that's going to WrestleMania. I think he might go to Royal Rumble, but I don't remember if he said he was going to Royal Rumble or not. But yeah, not much set up for that show. Kota Ibushi was rumored to enter the Royal Rumble. I hope not. I'm sorry, but I would rather see Kota Ibushi in AEW. I will be very shocked if he goes to WWE. I mean, when he competed in the Cruiserweight Classic, he didn't even know who the heck Vince McMahon was. Yeah, Kota Ibushi needs to stay away from no. Unless he really, really wants to be there. I mean, I'm a fan of his, but Kota Ibushi, no. I know he had an incredible match against Cedric Alexander at the CWC, but I hope that one definitely doesn't become a reality. Hope Roman Reigns can do something for us. Here's hoping. Can all this fit in WWE? I believe so. I believe so, but it makes me wonder if Impact is on his radar, being that, his wife Mickie James is there. So, I mean, I could see it. I was thinking personally, I was either thinking Impact, WWE, or Japan for Nick Aldis. It's my prediction. YKB says, it's my prediction that WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, Crown Jewel, Elimination Chamber, these are the pay-per-views that will definitely be held Saudi Arabia from next year or this year. Oh, like your big heavy hitters. I see what you're saying, YKB. Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I mean, your big four or your big five definitely could happen. Let's see, how many did you name? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 could definitely happen. What's going to happen to Wade when Pat comes back to SmackDown? 3-man SmackDown booth or back to NXT? Good question. Perhaps back to NXT. They might do a 3-person booth, NXT. I mean, they could do a 3-person booth at SmackDown as well. I mean, it's been done before on Raw, so hey. Definitely not impossible, that's for sure. But just wow. But Roman Reigns is definitely going to make more money in Saudi Arabia than Hollywood, I think. Yeah, I think that's a good prediction. Most definitely. Could totally see that. But yeah, let's see. It's getting pretty late on my end, and I kind of want to unwind before I hit the bed. But man, I want to thank y'all so much for coming back to this. I know I've done two lives tonight, and I thank y'all so much for coming back with this other, joining me for this other discussion with the news about this potential sale of WWE to Saudi Arabia. Still a rumor, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Probably tomorrow, the 11th. Vince McMahon is such an idiot, man. You can sell it to your kids. Shane Stephanie McMahon is there. He could have, but that man is a 77-year-old determined man. Determined to stay on top. And it's kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic. Vince McMahon is a North Carolinian. Just like me. Dang, it hates it. It sucks for me to even admit that. And I'm proud to be a North Carolinian. Ugh. 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 Anyway, I want to thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. If you like what you saw and want to come back for more, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. This has been another live pro wrestling talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. I will catch y'all on the next live. We'll see how much more of the craziness we'll see tomorrow. Let's keep an eye out. Hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. That's all I can say. God bless. Peace out. Bye-bye to the women's division and Sami Zayn. Aaron Pritchard, thank you for your comment. Most likely the case, for sure. Peace out.